miss the feeling.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvant.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
Exiles from what you ask? Exiled from the radio. But now, we're on your television.
I'm Bill Perfita, he's Kevin Gallagher, and they kicked us to the curb.
But we're back.
We are back with Exiles Television on the Pelican Broadcasting Network. We're going to bring you the newsmakers. We're also going to take your calls and give you great information. It's going to be the best damn radio show on television.
Look for it on your cable system or download the app, PelicanSportsTV.com.
It says here that Eric Gayward is back. Where has he been?
Well, I understand that he was in Georgia helping President Jimmy Carter build houses for the homeless.
Mr. President, can you put down the peanuts? A little help here?
Well, I was told that he was in Tibet studying to become a kung fu master.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hello and welcome to hour one of our midweek edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping that all is well with you and yours since the last opportunity we had to speak with you from our Pelican broadcast position here in the capital city. It is a best of both worlds. COVID-19 and all that it's brought about also has brought about some things that you need to be aware of. Scammers, unfortunately, never seem to take a day off. It would be nice, if during the course of the pandemic, the stay-home orders and folks not working would have applied to the scammers, but no, unfortunately, that is not the case. So we start today's show spending some time with Carmen Million, a dear friend of the show, the president and CEO of the Better Business Bureau of South Central Louisiana. Carmen, good morning, and how are you today?
Good morning, Clarence. I am safe and doing well.
Bless your heart. So let's start with the Social Security scam. What does that scam involve, and what do we need to be aware of?
Unfortunately, the Social Security scam has been around for years, and they're basically just contacting people. They're telling them that their Social Security number has been compromised and that they need to give them some information quickly. And in most cases, it involves their bank account number. Mm-hmm. And, of course, it's just a phishing scam to take people's money.
Right.
And, unfortunately, anybody who calls you and they tell you there's somebody at the Social Security office, then you immediately become concerned and fearful.
Right.
And these scammers are very good. They can make your caller ID actually say Social Security, so you believe it is, in fact, the Social Security office.
Right. So how do we protect ourselves from being victimized by these scammers in this regard?
Well, first of all, understand that the Social Security office is never going to call you in this manner. Okay. In fact, I often tell people, have you ever tried to call the Social Security office? It's not easy.
Right.
True, it's not easy to get to somebody, and they're shorthanded just like any other organization. Mm-hmm. But even if it shows on your caller ID, do not provide information, hang up the phone, and try to call the Social Security office yourself. Mm-hmm. But do not act or make a decision in fear or being rushed.
Mm-hmm. Here, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, when in doubt, if you're not sure, just call us.
Okay, fantastic. Here in South Louisiana, as I'm sure you are painfully aware of, the heat over the last few days has been absolutely brutal. And if, God forbid, our air conditioner goes out or we need some maintenance, people might feel pressured right now because of COVID-19 and everything else, not to mention just the heat and humidity. If nothing else, can you give us some do's and don'ts when dealing with making that sort of decision under the pressure-filled circumstances that we're all facing right now, Carmen?
You said it. It's a pressure-filled situation, and people have to have air conditioning. I will say that just for statistics' sake, in 2019, the Better Business Bureau across the system received over 4,300 complaints against HVAC companies.
Wow.
And most of those complaints are people hiring somebody without asking the right questions, without doing their due diligence, without investigating. So what we want consumers to understand is before you hire somebody, you need to make sure you understand exactly what they're going to do and what they're going to charge you to do that. For instance, one of the biggest complaints that the Better Business Bureau receives is a consumer will call somebody and say, I'm having a problem with my air conditioning system. Can you come out and look at it?
Right.
They don't ask what they charge per hour. If there is a separate diagnostic fee. Also, if they do charge per hour, if they send more than one person, are they going to charge you that amount per person per hour? And then if they find something wrong with your air conditioning system and you need repairs, are they going to include that initial fee in the repair cost? Are they going to give you some leniency there?
Right.
The other thing is in order to know if they're charging you a fair fee is to call more than one company. Get at least 3 bids. That way you know that whatever they're charging you is the going rate. You need to make sure that you investigate the company with the Better Business Bureau. You need to make sure you get an estimate in writing. That estimate should state exactly what they're going to do and what they're going to charge you for.
Right.
And also, if there are any warranties or guarantees on the service, if they replace a part, is the warranty going to cover to replace the part and the labor or just the part? There are lots of things people need to understand before they hire somebody. And what we want the public to understand is that when we give this advice, the consumer is not only protecting themselves, but they're protecting the company from any misunderstandings. And that way they can have a good experience.
Speaking of the weather, not only has it been hot in South Louisiana, but we've also had, as a result of that heat colliding with any number of fronts, we've had some pretty severe storms here in South Louisiana as of late. And as a result, a lot of people watching right now may be considering replacing the roof of their home. Any do's and don'ts in that regard as well, Carmen?
Well, first of all, any time you're considering doing home repair, our first tip is not to hire somebody that just knocks on your door, what we call an itinerant vendor, and offers to do work on your home. You want to make sure you get information on the company and investigate them first, but don't let them into your home. Second, the same thing with the roof. You need to get more than one bid. You need to talk with your insurance company to see if you're covered, and if not, maybe they can send an inspector to see what kind of work you actually need.
Right.
You want to make sure that you get the estimate in writing, any warranties or guarantees in writing. There is nothing wrong with paying a small fee up front, but do not pay the full amount until the job is completely done and you're satisfied. The other thing is you need to make sure they are properly insured, and that's something you can ask your insurance company too. If something happens, are you covered? So you want to make sure that a disaster that happens while they're doing the work doesn't turn into something really bad. So you want to make sure you check with your homeowner's insurance and the company to make sure you're fully covered and their employees are fully covered.
And is it still true at the end of the day when you get that price, if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is?
That will never change.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is I tell people all the time, anytime you're working with a company or you get a call or an email or whatever, and you're dealing with the situation and you get that funny feeling in your stomach,
right,
that tells you there's something wrong, that's usually, the way to go. And it's one of those things that if it sounds too good to be true, it generally is. Don't act immediately. Investigate, talk to family members, and contact your Better Business Bureau.
Speaking of contacting the Better Business Bureau, how do we go about doing that, and how do we go about accessing all of the wonderful resources that the Better Business Bureau of South Central Louisiana has to offer us, Carmen?
Well, first and foremost, you can always call the BBB at 225-3465-222, which is 5BBB. If you want to check on a company, file a complaint, file a review, 24 hours a day, you can go to bbb.org. And finally, if you feel like you've been a victim of a scam, you can go to our website and click on Scam Tracker, and you can log on your scam, which allows us to keep on top of the scams that are currently hitting the area, but it also allows the media to be aware of what scams are prevalent right now.
Is there any, quote, business that the Better Business Bureau will not investigate a call from?
Not really. I mean, the thing is, the Better Business Bureau's job is to provide information. That's truly what we do.
Right.
We do mediate complaints, but we provide information. So our rule in this office is if we aren't able to handle that situation, then we better find out who does, and we should provide that caller with information to help them get to the right place. We don't handle labor disputes, but we can give you a number of who can help you, and that's our job, is to be on the front line of directing you to where you need to go. When in doubt, call the Better Business Bureau.
Outstanding. Carmen Million, President and CEO of the Better Business Bureau of South Central Louisiana. Always great to hear your voice, and thanks for looking out for our wallets and our peace of mind. We appreciate that sincerely, Carmen.
Thank you, Clarence. Have a great day.
Have a great one as well. I was talking with Carmen off air before this interview started, and they handle close to 140,000 inquiries yearly. Thank God for modern technology and that they are able to vet all of these things and to keep us informed. I can only imagine what it's like. Well, actually, been there, done that. Now that I think about it, just a couple weeks ago, the AC unit at home went out, and of course it was immediate panic. But before you obligate yourself to something that you're going to be on the hook for, remember, the good folks at the Better Business Bureau of South Central Louisiana are here to help, and quite frankly, they'd be insulted if you did not allow them to help. We need to get our first break of hour number 1 out of the way today. First day, July 15th. Brand new channel numbers for Pelican, so be sure that you make that mental note so that you will be able to keep up with all your favorite shows in the days, the weeks still to come. First break of hour 1, we get her done, and we'll talk more next, right here, where you've got it on the Clarence Bugg Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Hi, gang. Clarence Bugs here. Cox Cable is upgrading the signal from the Pelican, but to catch us, you're going to have to tune in now to a new number. Acadiana, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Gramercy, Lutcher. Check your guide for details.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Welcome back to hour one of our Wednesday edition of the Clarence Buggs Show. Just to confirm for you that COVID-19 is no respecter of persons. The latest high-profile Louisianian to test positive for COVID-19 is our own Attorney General Jeff Landry, announcing that that is why he was not able to take part in the meeting yesterday with Vice President of the United States, Mike Pence. As you well know, the Vice President visited Baton Rouge yesterday to discuss our efforts in battling the COVID-19 pandemic with Governor John Bel Edwards and some other officials as well. The Attorney General issuing a statement that reads in part, out of an abundance of caution with the Vice President coming to our state, the Attorney General was tested for coronavirus. Though experiencing no symptoms, the Attorney General is quarantining, taking medications prescribed by his doctor, and remaining asymptomatic. He has contacted those with whom he came in contact with. His work as Attorney General has been uninterrupted, and Jeff Landry will continue his efforts to protect Louisiana families, freedoms, and the rule of law. That statement, reading from it in part from Attorney General Jeff Landry's office. Speaking of folks testing positive, in recent memory, and depending upon whom you speak with, there have been any number of people really concerned about the authenticity of COVID-19 numbers reported all across the state. And probably in recent memory, the state of Florida setting, quote, records with the number of new cases, drew some scrutiny, for lack of a better phrase, from some folks in the state of Florida. Fox 35, one of the Fox affiliates, local affiliates in the state of Florida, started looking at the numbers, and they are located, by the way, in Orlando. They noticed errors in the state's report of their positivity rates. The Florida Department of Health said that some labs have not been reporting negative test results and that data to the state. Meanwhile, in the state of Florida, and this is what led to Fox 35 deciding to launch an investigation, countless labs in the state of Florida were reporting a 100% positivity rate, meaning every single person they tested, countless labs were all positive. Others had extremely high positivity rates. So Fox 35, saying as any prudent individual would, found themselves saying, 100% positivity rate, meaning every single person they tested positive for COVID-19. So they started doing some digging, calling the testing labs and others involved with these abnormally high numbers. Come to find out, one local CentraCare, which is the brand name for the testing site there, repeated that they tested 83 people, all of them tested positive. NCF Diagnostics in Alakua reported 88% of their tests were all positive. So sure enough, Fox 35 started investigating. The report also showed Orlando Health had a 98% poverty rate. So they called the hospital, spoke with individuals there, but then the hospital confirmed, yeah, we've got some errors in this report. We reported 98% of the people we tested came back positive for COVID-19, when in actuality, the number was actually 9.4%. So you told me 98% of the people you tested were positive for COVID-19, and the number was actually 9.4%. Meanwhile, Orlando Veterans Medical Center reported a positivity rate of 76%, meaning, according to the folks at Veterans Medical Center, 76% of the people we tested came back positive. Well, actually, upon further review, they found out the number was not 76% positive. It was actually 6% positive. I say all this to say that you've got to be careful in vetting numbers these days. Now, I will leave to you to decide, because you've heard the argument, I'm sure, by now. Well, you got to understand, the more positive cases a hospital reports, the more money they get from the federal government for battling COVID-19. I will leave to you to decide whether or not the numbers were intentionally fudged so that these medical facilities could, in fact, get more money from the federal government. That is above my pay grade. I will leave that to you to decide, understanding full well that most of these folks take an oath to first do no harm. So I'll leave to you to decide whether or not that's the case. But currently, as the media has just thrown all over the latest news cycle, Florida is reporting the state's highest numbers yet throughout the course of the pandemic. Cases have gone from about 2,000 a day being reported a month ago to 12,000 a day being reported. Florida state officials say it is the largest single-day increase yet. Again, don't just take at face value what the media tells you. Fortunately, we are blessed these days to be the beneficiaries of the latest in modern technology. So we are able to access information like never before. We are also, on the flip side of that coin, presented more information every single day than ever before. And if you haven't arrived at a point in time just yet to where you realize you can't believe everything that you see on TV and you can't believe everything that you read on the internet, well, there's not a whole lot that I can tell you that will serve you well. When all is said and done, there's an immeasurable number of individuals, groups, entities, businesses, politicians that all have their own agenda behind making COVID-19 as dramatic an occurrence as possible. But at the end of the day, if you're like me, all you want is reliable, accurate information. I will make up my own mind. Just give me the facts. And sadly, with media these days and politicians these days having become what they've become, it is a sad commentary that most of us Americans now, and this is true for both sides of the political aisle, I would imagine probably more so from my side of the aisle, the conservative side, but we don't just take information anymore that the media gives us and go, oh, okay, so that is what that is, and keep on going. No. Yes, it is the information age. And yes, all of the information that we get these days is not reliable or accurate information. At the end of this journey, it is the health and well-being of our nation and our economy that we're talking about here. Those two are inextricably linked every single day that we continue to deal with this pandemic. And our kids, not to mention ourselves, and the future of this nation deserve informed individuals. There's nothing easier to sway than an uninformed population. There is no individual easier to lead than a low information voter. Don't be that guy. Don't be that girl. At the end of the day, the only way to make an informed decision is to vet the information. I know, I get it. Clarence, I don't have time to, to decipher all of this stuff that's out there. I get it. But do you want to be lazy or do you want to be informed? At the end of the day, that's pretty much what it comes down to. And I can't speak for anybody other than yours truly. I'd rather be informed, pure and simple. So far, this election cycle, we've had Jordan Piazza, mayoral candidate for EBR, on. We've had Tara Wicker, Metro Councilwoman and mayoral candidate, on air. And we have also had, joining us here on set, Metro Councilman Matt Watson. Yesterday, a new name gets thrown into the mayoral, I don't want to call it a circus, because that would be disingenuous to those that are running. The sweepstakes. That sounds a whole lot better. The mayoral sweepstakes. Roy Fletcher is political consultant extraordinaire. He'll spend some time in the next segment with us talking about what this next addition to the mayoral field will mean for that race. We've got that and a whole lot more still to come on our Wednesday edition of the Clarence Buggs Show, right here where you've got it, on a brand new number on your cable guide, and it's still only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Jaguar Nation, we need your help in masking up Louisiana.
Masking up us slow the spread of COVID-19.
During this time, we must continue to wear a mask, wash our hands, and practice social distancing.
It's important that we continue to abide by the CDC's guidelines to stop the spread.
Jaguar Nation, we challenge you to mask up.
Go Jags!
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
For total home pest control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvat.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Back to the Wednesday edition of the Clarence Bug Show. There is all sorts of movement in political circles here in the state of Louisiana as we work our way ever closer to fall. Some of the bigger topics to happen so far. Senator Karen Carter Peterson out of New Orleans announcing recently that she is not going to run for re-election as the chair of the Louisiana Democrat Party. To analyze this and some other things involving politics in Louisiana, we turn to the guru, the kingmaker, a friend, Roy Fletcher, political consultant extraordinaire. How are you this morning, my friend?
What you say?
I'm hanging in there.
From you, Mr. Buggs.
Good to talk with you, my friend. So what is Karen Carter Peterson's decision not to run for re-election as the chair of the Louisiana Democrat Party? What does that mean for politics in Louisiana, Roy?
Well, it doesn't mean a whole lot. For the party itself, I mean, it's obviously there'll be a scramble on to see who gets the chairmanship and that sort of thing. And what can happen is that there can be some sense of a projection of a new image for the party, or maybe they want to continue in the same image. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a Democrat, but the point being is that it gives them a chance to, let's say, a good way to say it would be tinker with it. Follow where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
And because I mean, if you're Democrats, they're basically going to say the same thing. But so, which style do you say it in? And that's kind of the way I see that.
So, wait, let me...
Senator Carter was pretty combative and pretty, out front with herself and her feelings and her thoughts.
Right.
And so it may be the party wants to have more of a, quieter voice or whatever the case may be. I don't know. It's up to them.
So let me be sure I understood you correctly. You are not a Democrat?
No, sir.
I just wanted to see if you were listening, Roy. So
I did. I'm right here with you, Clarence. I mean, surgery, recovery, and all. I'm right here with you.
So how much sway does Governor John Bel Edwards and his vote have in selecting the new chair? What does your gut tell you?
Well, I think the governor's going to want their own person, or his own person, which he should. Mm-hmm. It's only fair.
Right.
And I think it's a question, though, of the person that I want. Will they be able to build a party outside? A party mechanism, not just simply a John Bel Edwards mechanism.
Right.
And I think that's what he will look at too. I would think he would look that way. Mm-hmm. But I've seen politicians decide to hell with it. I want whoever's over at that party to be my rubber stamp.
Right. Here in
do what I tell them to.
Here in East Baton Rouge Parish, State Representative C. Denise Marcel announcing yesterday that she is joining the group of folks that are running to be the next chief executive officer in East Baton Rouge Parish and trying to unseat Sharon Weston Broome here in EBR. Yeah. That adds a real interesting dynamic to the race, doesn't it?
Absolutely, it does. Between Ms. Marcel, Ms. Wicker, certainly there's a serious sense of competitiveness in the African American vote.
Yeah,
and it's not what we've seen very often, and it's frankly competition is really good because it keeps everybody reasonably honest. I didn't say honest, but it keeps everybody reasonably honest because you're always afraid that your opponent's going to tell everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good thing. Now, as it relates to the race, to the election, I think that what occurs there is that there's a splintering of a solid block to some extent. The question is how much in the African American community, black community, and so the question becomes how much is that splintering,
right?
And if it takes shape and if it actually happens, what does that mean for the white candidates?
Right.
And those two would be Jordan Piazza and Matt Watson.
And Matt Watson, yeah. Who does C. Denise Marcel's entrance into the race hurt the most, do you think?
I think if it would hurt. It would hurt me personally if it was if I were the mayor. If I was Sharon Weston Broome, I think that probably hurt me.
Right.
But politically, who does it hurt the most? I don't know. It certainly probably forces, no doubt, Broome into a runoff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another month of campaign and another month of fundraising. That's pretty rough.
Yeah.
And the second thing is that it makes she and Tara Wicker have to fight for vote. She being Ms. Marcel.
Right.
And so it's not going to help Tara Wicker. And if anybody gets hurt the most, but I don't know that Tara had a whole lot to hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if she had many votes. You follow where I'm coming?
Yeah.
But Ms. Marcel certainly would hurt her. Yeah.
With all the racial upheaval and everything in our country these days, it's kind of refreshing on one hand to see that Baton Rouge has progressed to the point now where you have 3 African-American women running to become the next chief executive officer of the parish of East Baton Rouge. That says a lot about how far we've come, doesn't it?
Pretty significant. I think it's very significant on the one hand that you do have 3 women. And the other significance of it is you do have that kind of competition within the African American community.
Right.
That's a great thing. In other words, you're starting to have factions, and well, you're not starting to. There's always been there, but they're starting to become clear, and there are obviously differences, and that's important. That's good for democracy.
Yeah. And my humble opinion only, it would have been even better if one of those black females was a Republican, but I guess you can't blame a guy for wishful thinking. Let's shift gears. Let's shift gears for a second. As COVID-19 continues, the left, liberals, are pushing hard for vote by mail. Do Republicans have the backbone to stop this movement? And what are the consequences of not doing so, Roy?
Well, you said two words that may not fit in the same sentence. You said Republican backbone.
Good point.
I've never seen the backless boned people in my life as we got in Washington, D.C. in the Republican Party. And, but for Trump, there would have been just a roll job going on up there.
Right.
But I think though that the Republican side of the equation on the vote by mail, which they're fairly uniformly opposed to, is I think that they recognize right now that you either beat this or you get beat, and that when it gets down to that, it's pretty amazing what people grow.
Yeah.
Yeah, politicians all of a sudden grow a pair.
Looking down the road to this fall, do you have a gut feeling just yet on conventions or no conventions? That's the question.
I think the Republicans are going to have one. The Democrats apparently going to be virtual. And so, but I think the Republicans are going to have one that sort of looks like the way it used to be. I don't think it will be.
Right.
Because it can't be. And, but yeah, I think that's, the Republicans will have one now. In terms of anything else, I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, so many unknowns in all of this. Roy, as always, my friend, it's great to hear your voice. Keep up the recovery process, and we'll be checking in on you, my friend.
Thank you, Clarence Sparks. I appreciate it, man.
Quite welcome, sir. Quite welcome. He is the kingmaker. You cannot say politics in South Louisiana, or the state probably for that matter, and not hear the name Roy Fletcher thrown in there. It is so refreshing, and again, and I mentioned this to Roy, to see 3 black females running to be the next chief executive officer of the parish of East Baton Rouge. For my money, and I know y'all will accept this in the spirit that it's given, the only way this could be even better is if one of those African-American females happened to be a Republican. I know a lot of people just spewed their coffee all over the dining room just now, or out on the patio, wherever you're having that second cup. But as Roy mentioned, competition is always good. It brings out the best in us, and as it pertains to politics, the more competition you have, the easier it is to keep people honest. And quite frankly, you can look on both sides of the aisle, and you can look right down the middle and walk up to randomly 500 Americans today and ask, how honest do you think politics is in America these days? You already know what all 500 people are going to say. So anytime you can have more competition, the better it is for the process. And obviously, just as a natural outgrowth of it being better for the process, that means it's also better for just regular folks like you and yours truly. We're going to keep an eye on this, and my gut tells me we may have someone else to jump in this race before all is said and done. Still to come on today's show, we are going to spend some time next hour speaking with the national president of Bikers for Trump. I'm still trying to figure out who gets criticized the quickest and the hardest? Me for being a black man and a conservative, or him for being a biker for Trump? This is going to really be good. Tell you what, we need to get our final break of hour one out of the way. We'll do so, and we will come back, put a big old bow on hour one, and then head on down the road to hour two of the Wednesday edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. Right where you've got it on a brand new number on your guide, only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Exiles from what, you ask? Exiled from the radio, but now we're on your television.
I'm Bill Profita, he's Kevin Gallagher, and they kicked us to the curb.
But we're back.
We are back with Exiles Television on the Pelican Broadcasting Network. We're going to bring you the newsmakers. We're also going to take your calls and give you great information. It's going to be the best damn radio show on television.
Look for it on your cable system or download the app, PelicanSportsTV.com.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Welcome back for the final segment of hour one of today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. Want to pay some attention in this segment to a story. Actually, it's two stories. Both of them center around the same thing. Very, very tragic occurrences in the African-American community here in the great state of Louisiana. The New Orleans Police Department announcing that a second suspect has been arrested in the drive-by shooting that happened in Algiers that left a 3-year-old dead along with his brother. 3-year-old Isaiah Adams and his 23-year-old brother, James Esten. The mother, by the way, was also wounded in that shooting as she attempted to scoop up little 3-year-old Isaiah Adams and get him to safety. The NOPD announcing that they have now made a second arrest in that case and additionally are also looking for a third suspect alleged to have been involved in that case. As tragic a scenario as it is, it, at the end of the day, gives me just a small glimmer of hope that police were able to arrest two suspects so quickly. I can only imagine that they received help from the community, those there that were outraged over the age of this darling 3-year-old Isaiah Adams. Additionally now, and I am hoping desperately that the same will apply for the case, the shooting of Devontae Bryant, a 9-year-old shot to death recently on the stoop of the home where he lived in the 7th Ward. Sadly, and I'm going to attribute this, and I hope desperately with every fiber of my being that I'm proved wrong in this regard. So far, the NOPD says they have no suspects and no motive. I am hoping desperately that anyone with any information at all regarding the shooting of 9-year-old Devontae Bryant, no longer with us, I'm hoping we will step up and do the right thing. Forgive me for not doing it. I should have done it prior to airtime. I can't give you the Crime Stoppers number for New Orleans. I mean, here in the capital region, we've been doing it for so long. We all know 344-STOP is the number. New Orleans has a similar Crime Stoppers operation there. I implore you, if you have any information that can lead to the arrest and solving of the crime of 9-year-old Devontae Bryant, there is nothing on this planet that should stop you from calling New Orleans Crime Stoppers and giving them that information. I understand, Clarence, you got to understand where we live, snitches get stitches. I get all that. But guys and girls, we're talking about a 3-year-old and a 9-year-old. Not that their lives are any more precious than anybody else's, because all lives are precious. And yeah, I'm gonna say it, all lives matter. And at the end of the day, individuals that would be so callous as to shoot and kill a 3-year-old, wound the mother who's attempting to scoop that child up and get him to safety, an individual or individuals that would be so callous as to shoot and kill a 9-year-old. The rest of us mean less than you know what to those kinds of folks. We need them off the streets. There is no if, and, or but about it. They have demonstrated clearly that they are not capable or not willing to abide by the laws of a civilized society. And when individuals demonstrate this to us, it then becomes incumbent on us to remove them from the civilized people that are still here. It is, and I want to be careful, it's painful that police have yet to get suspects or a motive in the death of 9-year-old Devontae Bryant. Police and those of us who love this country understand. But police are proactive. Police solve crime. In some instances, yes, they prevent crime. But I'm one of those that's of the opinion criminals are going to be criminals. They're going to do what they're going to do. And at the end of the day, if we were to put a policeman on every single corner, they would simply find the criminals, someplace else to indulge in criminal activity. When a 3-year-old is murdered, when a 9-year-old is murdered. This is way past the wake-up call, y'all. This is far and away, so beyond a wake-up call. I understand for years the alarm has been going off, and for whatever reason, I will leave to you to fill in the reason blank. We have hit the snooze bar, or as is the case with the alarm on your cell phone, we've hit the snooze button over and over and over again. When 3-year-olds are gunned down on our streets, when a 9-year-old is murdered doing nothing more than sitting on the stoop of his home, it's time to stop hitting the snooze bar. Get out of bed and deal with the problems that are plaguing us. I cannot begin to imagine, because I am one of those that's of the opinion a parent should never have to bury their child outside of some, I don't know, genetic recurrence. Maybe strokes or heart attacks run in the family, or maybe it's a birth defect. There's a hole in the heart or something like that went undetected. I think oftentimes of the movie, and I forget the title of it right off the top of my head, it may come to me, but there was a situation where 2 military officers were talking with one another. And the gentleman that made the call to the other officer had just lost his son in this nuclear catastrophe. And the gentleman he called, the other officer, offered his condolences and then said, it goes against the natural order of things. God, in his infinite wisdom, designed the human family and the human experience such that children bury their parents. Parents are not supposed to have to bury their kids. And at the tender age of 3, at the tender age of 9 years old, when parents should only be thinking about the accomplishments that these children are going to have in their lives for the next 10, 20, 40, 50 years. Instead of thinking about that, those families are now planning a funeral. I beseech you, I implore you, I beg you, if you have any information regarding the murders of 3-year-old Isaiah Adams or 9-year-old Devontae Bryant, do the right thing. If, for whatever reason, you cannot bring yourself to make the call, call your pastor, call your council person, call someone you trust. Give them the information and ask them to call. Whatever it takes. Obviously, there are 2 individuals on the streets of Louisiana that have demonstrated unquestionably they don't belong there. It's up to us to get them off. Top of the hour break. More to come. Stay close.
Hello, guys. It's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hi gang, Clarence Bugs here. Some big changes are coming to the Pelican and Cox Cable. July 15th, our numbers are changing. We're easier to find and we're in high def. New Orleans, Gramercy, Lutcher, Acadiana, Patterson, Baton Rouge, new numbers coming and a brand new signal. It all happens July 15th on Cox Cable. Do your buddy Clarence a favor, will you? Get all the details by checking your local guide.
For total home pest control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvat.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
Welcome back as we start hour 2 of today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. You know, one of the things, every now and then, I run across individuals that I not compare myself to, but I find myself saying to myself, wow, this person probably has it just as tough as I do. I was speaking with a friend yesterday and found out about an organization, Bikers for Trump. And after looking through the information and deciding to make a call, I was giggling to myself last night. I said, I'm going to have to ask Dale Herndon, our next guest, who does he think will get judged quicker and harsher? Me, as a black man who's a conservative, or he as a biker for Trump. So we're going to have to find out who gets judged the quickest and the hardest before I get him off the phone. Dale Herndon in Rome, Georgia today. How are you, sir?
Doing great.
Fantastic. So what is your organization, Bikers for Trump? What's it all about, Dale?
We're a political organization that basically our mission and goal is to get Trump reelected and Trump-like-minded Republicans elected.
Mm-hmm.
We've been going at this since 2016 when he came down the escalator,
mm-hmm.
and we've been building ever since. We're up to 140,000 members in our state.
Wow.
And we're up to 350,000 followers. So we got a big organization. We're recognized by Trump. You ever heard any of his speeches and stuff, you always recognize that he says Bikers for Trump.
Right.
And our founder, Chris Cox, man, he goes to the White House. They call him Chris and all that kind of stuff. So we have the ear of the president, and we are moving forward to help him get reelected.
You posted something on your website that really struck a chord with me yesterday, Dale. It says it's okay to be all three: outraged by George Floyd's death. It's okay to not condone rioting and looting. And it's okay to support good police. Where did we lose all of this in America, Dale? What does your heart tell you?
Well, I mean, I personally think we're losing it in the schools and the college ranks and all that. I think the message that our people of our age were taught are not being taught now, and that people are just not valuing life. They just looking for excuses to do things and get things that's not merited that they earned.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, and I always, my dad's retired Army, and I'm an Army brat. And
Same here.
I always, I'm like you. I sit back sometimes. I think and I say, I see these kids and what's going on out there, talking to them and stuff, and that's nothing instilled in them. I mean, it's because the father's not at home, and a lot of single parent moms, and a lot of people having to work 2 or 3 jobs to keep up with the economy and their house payments and all that kind of stuff. And
right.
It's a lot of missed messages out there. So you say you sit back and think a lot. I sit back and think a lot too. I contribute a lot of my success in life is from my parents. And I believe, and I remember the structure and discipline and routine my dad installed in me.
Yes, sir.
I if I ever got to talk to Trump personally, I see him, maybe once or twice a year. But if I ever get to talk to him personally, I kind of want him to reinstall the draft.
Yeah.
I want them to do 2 years. If they don't go to college out of high school, I think they need to do 2 years and get some discipline and some. Basically, some respect installed in them so they respect others and other things.
That's what the Israelis do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if nothing else, it gives you a greater appreciation for what America is and what it has to offer its citizens. I, like you, I'm an Army brat. My dad was career 28 years, United States Army. So I knew I liked you for more than just one reason, Dale. So knowing what you know now, and this is my 40th year in broadcasting, and as a man of color and a conservative, I mean, I've been fighting the fight for longer than I care to remember. But every single day, I still get up and still go and attempt to fight the good fight. How much more committed is your organization this year, say, as opposed to when it was founded by Chris Cox back in 2015?
Oh, I mean, you can tell by our numbers, we're very committed. You can tell by our activities. I mean, we average, almost 200 to 400,000 interactions a month, and
wow.
We're very committed to it. But back in 16, it was all new to everybody. Everybody was saying, he didn't have a chance. All the polls were saying Hillary's going to win like everything, and so we was basically filling everything out then. But we're dead serious now, and we've got to move. We work with the Trump Victory Campaign, Bikers for Trump and Trump Victory Campaign. We got something going on in every state. And then we got, like I said, on our page, you've seen our activity. I'm hitting 100,000 something hits a video. So we're doing a lot of good things. Of course, COVID has really took away from our dedication this year because we've been sidelined as far as our rallies and getting out there talking to people. And, and even to the political aspect of can't door knock and all that kind of stuff, asking people, because we usually have a door knock campaign. We're not even getting to do that this year. So
wow.
But yeah, we're definitely working on it. And but as far as your question goes about being a black man, conservative, out here today, and then our aspect of being a Bikers for Trump.
Right.
I definitely gonna have to give that one to you. You know the deal with bikers. People just don't usually challenge or contradict or say anything to bikers. But I know from what I've seen out there, you get called all kind of names, get called. And I appreciate what you do, and I appreciate your struggle, because it is being heard, And Trump has a lot of conservative black voters on his side.
Do you ever feel like you're swimming against the tide and that tide is just too strong? What drives you to keep going, Dale?
Well, we keep going because of the fact that we got a mission to finish. And like I said, going back to the Army days of being an Army brat, you're going to complete. You don't quit on nothing.
That's right.
And so what we're going to do is we're going to keep going. And what's frustrating is all these politicians out here talking about we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to lock this up, we're going to lock them up, we're going. But then, like when I sit down and watch Sean Hannity, I love him to death.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, everything comes in my mouth is lock somebody up. Quit talking about it.
Right.
I mean, do something.
Yeah.
So it's like Trump posted today. We're paying all these congressmen and senators money to be our congressmen and senators, but they're not even in Washington, D.C. doing anything to get paid for what they're getting paid for. And he's up there fighting the fight by himself. And it's plumb sickening.
So are you going to be able to do any more rallies between now and Election Day, or is all of that just going to be contingent upon what COVID-19 does?
Well, we set them up, and then they come out with this stuff about you can't have no more than 25 people assembling, and now everybody's on this fad about wanting to wear a mask, and everywhere you go, you got to have a mask on. And
right.
All we can do is set them up and just see what the atmosphere is like in the month that it comes. Funny you said that. The next ride really that we have is in Louisiana, the Redemption Ride with
that's right.
Clay Higgins.
Yeah, yeah.
So we do that with him every year. Colonel Eric and all them, they do a real good job with that, and we had a real good turnout last year with them, and we hope to show up this year with them. But there again, in September, are the kids going to go back to school, or they're not going to go back to school? It's going to be so bad that we can't have a rally.
Right.
Just all those question marks are out there.
So how can folks find out more about Bikers for Trump, Dale?
Oh, yeah. I mean, just go on Facebook, type in Bikers for Trump 2020. That'll carry you to the page that you saw that comment on that you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
That's also a public page which has 350,000 followers on it. And then we have a Bikers Trump page in every state. You got to live in that state and vote in that state to be a member. That's where we have 140,000.
Right.
And you can go on that, go on the internet and just type in www.findmystate.com. And then it'll bring up the map of the United States. You just click on your state and it'll pull up your page.
Awesome. Well, Dale, it is one of the beautiful things about this republic that you and I love. We can have white guys and black guys that love God and country and can find common ground when there are so many people out there trying to separate us. Thank you first and foremost, Dale, for what you're doing, and keep fighting the good fight, my friend.
Hey, and thank you for calling and asking about Bikers for Trump.
You got it. Take care of yourself, my friend, and stay safe.
All right, Clarence. Thank you.
It's a beautiful thing to live in a country where just looking at people, and you saw the guy's picture on the screen, where you can look at a guy that looks like that and another guy that looks like this, and they both love God and country and are both willing to step up and say it. I love it. Colonel E., I'm forever in your debt, my friend. I hope you're watching right now. Thank you for the connection and for the hookup. I appreciate you sincerely. We still have more to come, obviously. Clarence, you better have some more to say. You got another 44 minutes you got to fill. But all of that comes after, the ugly capitalism. We got to take a quick break. We'll bang this one out. And after that, we will continue the Wednesday edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. Don't forget, make that mental note. New numbers all across South Louisiana for our channel designation. Starting today, we're no longer where you used to find us. Make that mental note. Better yet, just plug it into your remote at home and you're good to go. First break of hour 2 on the Clarence Bugg Show, here and only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With private healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready. And health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Eric Gaylord is back, but where has he been?
Wait, the word was that he was training to be a sumo wrestler.
Rated E.
That's right, the Clarence Bug Show is back, along with the Exiles, Bill Profita and Kevin Gallagher. We've put the band back together, South Louisiana's talk team, and it's only on the Pelican. 10 a.m. till 12 noon, right here on the Pelican.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Welcome back to hour 2 of our midweek edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Which one, Marty? Tell me which way am I supposed to look? Which camera? That one? Okay, all right, I got you. Thank you kindly, sir. Alan, that one's on you probably. Alan's our director out in the truck, so there you go. Want to give you guys and girls a heads up because it's my understanding that this money is not in all likelihood going to last very long. Louisiana frontline healthcare workers can begin applying for that $250 rebate for work performed during the COVID-19 pandemic starting today, Wednesday, July 15th. The Louisiana Department of Revenue will accept applications online or on a downloadable printable form. Again, due to limited funding for the rebate program, you are encouraged to apply ASAP using the online portal at frontlineworkers.la.gov. That is starting today. Now, while it is in fact being called a, quote, rebate, it's not as though you go through the process and then you're told, okay, well, you can expect the $250 tax rebate when you file your taxes. No, it is a rebate program technically by name, but you will be written a physical check. The Louisiana Department of Revenue will accept applications from today through Saturday, October 31st from workers employed in one of the essential critical infrastructure jobs on or after March 11th of 2020. That includes nurses, assistants, aides, medical residents, pharmacy staff, phlebotomists, respiratory therapists, workers providing direct patient care in inpatient and outpatient dialysis facilities. Additionally, those who qualify also include housekeeping, laundry services, food services, waste management personnel in hospitals and healthcare facilities, long-term care facility personnel, outpatient care workers, home care workers, personal assistant providers, home health providers, home delivered meal providers, and child care service providers. Additionally, grocery store, convenience store, and food assistant program personnel qualify, bus drivers, retail fuel center personnel, sanitation personnel, residential, commercial, and industrial solid waste and hazardous waste removal personnel. And finally, emergency medical services, EMS personnel, fire and rescue personnel, law enforcement personnel, and public health epidemiologists. All of you qualify for that $250 rebate. And again, the online portal, the quickest, easiest way to do it is frontlineworkers, all one word, .la.gov, and all of that starts today. Marty, did I see you? No, cameraman's not in there. Doggone it. Doggone it. Nope. You're essential, but you're not essential. If you're sacrificial, there you go. There you go. It is no big secret that the advent of COVID-19 is not discriminatory in the events that it affects, particularly the events that have to be postponed. And I was trying to think last night after seeing the story, if this has ever happened before. Probably in the list of, for us, real, long-time Louisianians, if we were to name the top 10 iconic events in the state of Louisiana, the International Grand Isle Tarpon Rodeo would have to be somewhere in that top 10. I mean, you have the obvious ones, you know, you have the Sugar Bowl, Mardi Gras, some might throw in the Frog Festival at Rain, in Rain, Louisiana, the Strawberry Festival, Tangipahoa, in Hammond, in Tangipahoa Parish, Louisiana Jazz and Heritage Festival would probably fall in there. Well, it was announced this week that the historic International Grand Isle Tarpon Rodeo, the oldest fishing tournament, by the way, in the entire United States of America, has been postponed. It is not just the oldest fishing tournament in Louisiana, it is the oldest in the entire United States of America. It has taken place every year since 1928. So, quick math. 1928 would be 72 years to 2000, 72 and 20 would be 92. And I went to public school, did it just like that. See, that's what happens when you got great parents. Love your mom, love your dad, thank you. 92 years, and something comes along that you can't see, you can't touch, you can't smell, and poof, there you go. It had been scheduled to take place July 23rd through the 25th. The Jefferson Parish Administration and Jefferson Parish Council all support the decision and say that they will assist the organizers in rescheduling the event at a later date. Obviously, we will keep an eye on that situation, and the closer it gets to them announcing a date where it will be rescheduled, then we will pass that information along to you and yours. And who knows, maybe, just maybe, it will be a reason for you to finally go to Grand Isle and take in some of their international tarpon festival, keeping in mind that it is the oldest fishing tournament in the entire United States of America. And what better reason to go and support it and help the good folks at Grand Isle and maybe even start a new tradition. You never know. Maybe even start a new tradition. Speaking of new traditions that we are hoping will not become a tradition, in a major sign, and this, by the way, is reading from Channel 9, the CBS affiliate here in Baton Rouge, WAFB's website, in a major sign that there will be changes in attendance at Saints games this year, the team now has sent out a form allowing season ticket holders to opt out of the 2020 season. The season ticket opt-out form states if you've paid any money toward this season, you can either roll it over to 2021 or you can get a refund. That's probably as strong as an indication as you are ever going to get that they are planning on having a hugely scaled back attendance for the games. It pretty much, Marty, I don't know if you can see those gentlemen there. Maybe you can assist them. Don't know who that is. Looks like maybe. Are y'all closed? Yeah, we're closed, guy. Couple of folks dropping by. I thought for a second maybe it was the Bikers for Trump guys. A couple of Harleys just pulled up in the parking lot and they knocked on the door. Nope, not them. Just wondering if we're open. Like so many other places and like the Superdome and many of you that were, hoping, crossing fingers and toes and all of this. Man, I hope we get our season tickets and we can be in that number. I wouldn't bet the farm on that. I just wouldn't. That is not the only group of individuals that are going to be affected. As you probably heard this week, Eddie Bonine, Executive Director of the Louisiana High School Sports Athletic Association, saying that they will not back football unless and until we exit phase 3 of their reopening protocols. So it is really going to be interesting. And some of you would probably use stronger language than that, but it's going to be interesting to see how Louisianians deal with the potential loss of the time-honored tradition of football in South Louisiana. As the late Marino Chasm coined the phrase, in the South, football is a religion, and Saturday is the holy day of obligation. It's going to be interesting to see if there's no football, how we deal with all of this. Well, wait, let me correct myself. How y'all deal with this, because I'll still be watching NASCAR all the way through. So, hey, we got room for y'all. If you decide, I'm going to finally take Clarence up and watch a race or two and see, what all this excitement is about. It's more, trust me, it is so much more than driving fast and turning left. It is so much more than that. Trust me on this one. Take my word. I'll even help you out in that regard. We have our bottom of the hour break breathing down our necks right now. Love that sound of a Harley. Love the sound of a Harley. Marty says it's the most fun you can have with your clothes on. Bottom of the hour break. We get her done. We'll come back and talk more on the Wednesday edition of the Clarence Bugg Show right here and only on the Pelican. Stay close.
For total home pest control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvant.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Exiles from what you ask? Exiled from the radio. But now we're on your television.
I'm Bill Profita. He's Kevin Gallagher, and they kicked us to the curb.
But we're back.
We are back with Exiles Television on the Pelican Broadcasting Network. We're going to bring you the newsmakers. We're also going to take your calls and give you great information. It's going to be the best damn radio show on television.
Look for it on your cable system or download the app, PelicanSportsTV.com.
Hi, gang. Clarence Bugs here. Some big changes are coming to the Pelican and Cox Cable. July 15th, our numbers are changing. We're easier to find, and we're in high def. New Orleans, Gramercy, Lutcher, Acadiana, Patterson, Baton Rouge, new numbers coming, and a brand new signal. It all happens July 15th on Cox Cable. Do your buddy Clarence a favor, will you? Get all the details by checking your local guide.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Welcome back to the second hour of the Wednesday edition of the Clarence Bug Show. You know, it is so very important here in recent memory that with it being the summer and, of course, with the COVID-19 pandemic and everything, keeping our kids occupied in a positive manner. If you think back, and I'll give some of y'all longer than others, to back when you were a teenager, we were able to kind of self-entertain. You know, we'd jump on our bikes, we'd eat breakfast, leave the house on the bike, and we weren't back till lunch, if not many times until dinner. But kids these days are different. They have so much more at their disposal, and so much more is required to keep them entertained. And that's teenagers and younger as well, as you all well know. And one of the agencies that's done an absolutely fabulous job of this throughout the course of the pandemic is our nationally recognized Baton Rouge Recreation and Parks Commission, better known by the acronym BREC. Joining us today, because it's been a little while since we've talked with the good folks there, to find out what's going on right now is Cheryl Michelet, a dear friend of the show, the communications director for BREC. Cheryl, good morning, and how are you today?
Good morning, Clarence. I'm doing well. Any day is a good day when I talk to you.
Well, bless your heart. You are too kind. So, what's the latest update on the situation with the Independence Park Recreation Center? And for those that don't know, we had 2 young campers reportedly take part in activities after they contracted COVID-19 someplace else. Are we back to normal and operating there, Cheryl?
The recreation center is back to normal. We closed it down one day so that we could get in and get it all sanitized. We have a company that comes in and does that for us. It was a Friday, so that allowed it to sit, for the weekend, reopen on Monday.
Right.
And the camp, however, all of the campers and the staff need to quarantine for 14 days. And as that was going to hit right at the end of camp, that camp just ended early.
Okay. On another note, and you all have got to give whoever it was that came up with this, they need an award or some recognition or something. You all have what's called the virtual quarantine. Quarantine spelled with TEEN, as in teenagers, virtual quarantine sessions. Are they still going on? And if so, what do they entail, Cheryl?
They are still going on. It's a program that goes Monday through Friday through June 31st. And the idea was that teens have been hit so hard by this pandemic.
Yes.
They lost their prom. They lost, in some cases, graduation or ring ceremonies. So we figured we'd give them something. It's a free program, and it is virtual. And it has themed days. So, for example, Music Mondays or Team Building Thursday or Fun Friday. And teens sign up, and they're able to get that social interaction in a safe manner.
Right.
And also just kind of have a little fun in a difficult time for everybody. And from what I'm hearing, it has been very well received, and we pick one teen. I can't remember if it's each week or each month, but they get sort of highlighted on social media and get some career counseling as well. And so that's been a kind of fun to see during this time.
The Sunshine virtual program, what's that all about, and is it still in progress as well?
It is. So again, it will go through, at least as planned right now. My guess is if we stay in the phase that we're in, that we'll continue doing this one virtually for, as long as we need to.
Right.
Because our Sunshine programs are for children, teens, even young adults that have physical or mental disabilities. And right now, it is just too dangerous for them to be, interacting with each other personally.
Right.
And so we've taken a program that we do in person, and we've made it virtual, and it's divided by age. So you have a 6 to 10 age group, an 11 to 15 age group, and then a 16-plus age group. And we're doing things like art projects, wellness, where you get movement and exercise. We always do Sunshine Socials during the school year, which are karaoke or themed dance parties.
Right.
And we've been doing that through the summer, just to, again, to keep these children and teens engaged during a time where they're not getting the social activity that they rely on.
There is nothing probably more energetic than that Pee-wee group. And Pee-wee tennis, that's something that's got to be just so adorable to watch, not to mention enjoy. Is that still active as well?
Yes, we are able to do tennis programs. That was one of the sports that we could bring back earlier than others because it can be individual.
Right.
They are a more limited program with less spots than we normally have. But yes, we can plan to continue doing that through the summer.
I know a lot of people, Cheryl, are now taking stock of things that are most important to them in life. And many people now, because of the extra amount of time that they have, are starting to look to give back to the community, particularly in the form of volunteering. Does BREC still need volunteers? And if so, who qualifies and how do they go about this?
Anybody can be a BREC volunteer. We don't have all of the events and programs that we normally have to ask people to volunteer for right now, but there are a couple of things that have been very popular. We have a, I guess you'd call them a more educated volunteer base, and by that I mean you have to go through some education to be a Green Force volunteer. And so these folks are trained in how our conservation department works to manage the natural resources within BREC. And so they're out there actually building trails or cleaning up in our conservation areas, cataloging species, just all kinds of things. So that's called the Green Force. And then our general volunteer program, what we're finding that people are wanting to do right now is get out into the parks and evaluate them. So we have something called a park scorecard, and we will get you some software where you can go in and actually grade our parks. Are they clean? Are they safe? Are there, some issues that we haven't seen, but you're our eyes and ears and tell us to get out there and take care of it? And so you can sign up online for that at brec.org, and brec.org/volunteer is where you can find the opportunities.
Fantastic. Cheryl Michelet, Communications Director for BREC. We appreciate the time as always, and more important, we appreciate what BREC does just to help us all improve our quality of life here in this area. We appreciate that sincerely. Thank you so kindly.
Thank you, and have a great day.
Do the same. Thank you kindly. Talk about one of my favorite people. Oh, love me some Cheryl Michelet, as real as the day is long. Before I forget, before our final break and we come back for the final segment, those of you all that are members of the community of faith, I would consider it a personal favor if you would be so kind as to keep a very, very special group of Louisianians in your thoughts and in your prayers. You probably know by now about the shipboard fire, massive fire in San Diego. It is actually aboard the USS Bonhomme. I don't know if it's Richard. I would imagine it's Richard. It's not Louisiana, in which case it would be Richard. But it is the Navy ship that's on fire in San Diego. A team of firefighters from our home state, from Louisiana, are assisting the individuals there as they try to bring this raging fire under control. It has been burning for some 3 days now and is not showing any signs of letting up. The firefighters of U.S. Fire Pump, that's a company that is located between Baton Rouge and Hammond. They are, wow, is that Rick Cantu? I can't see because of the lights in my face. Wow, my man. They are assisting the United States Navy. I'm not supposed to. I don't want to set a bad example. They are assisting the firefighters there in San Diego in bringing this under control. They left early yesterday morning. The initial group of 11 individuals are helping out with this very intense fire that's been burning for some 3 days now. The good news is, according to Ferreira Fire Apparatus, their owner, Chris Ferreira, according to him, quote, "We fought ship fires before, so this is just part of our business," end of quote. Just last year, you may remember, that group of Louisianians was involved in rescuing crew members from a capsized cargo ship off the coast of Florida. There aren't any, quote, rescue missions involved here. They are simply trying to knock this fire down and make some progress. They have plans for additional Louisiana firefighters to join them in the next few days. This obviously is a situation where a fire's been burning intensely for 3 days. You're bringing in people from all over the country to help on our best day. Folks like you and I, the federal government doesn't print enough money for you and I to go and fight that fire. So at the very least, those of you that are members of the community of faith, please be so kind as to keep these brave men, and could be women for that matter, keep these Louisiana firefighters in your thoughts and your prayers. I don't know any of them personally, but I feel pretty comfortable going out on a limb and saying they would seriously and probably forever be grateful if you were to keep them in both your thoughts and your prayers. Final break of today's show. We will get her done. We'll come back, put a big old bow on this puppy, and wrap up the midweek edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, right where you've got it on a brand new number on cable, only still on the Pelican. Stay close.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Jaguar Nation, we need your help in masking up Louisiana.
Masks help us slow the spread of COVID-19.
During this time, we must continue to wear a mask. Wash your hands and practice social distancing.
It's important that we continue to abide by the CDC's guidelines to stop the spread.
Jaguar Nation, we challenge you to mask up. Go Jags!
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
That's right, the Clarence Bugg Show is back, along with the Exiles, Bill Profita and Kevin Gallagher. We've put the band back together, South Louisiana's talk team, and it's only on the Pelican. 10 a.m. till 12 noon, right here on the Pelican.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. A couple of things we want to cover before we are done with you for today. But before I forget, you reach 60 and keep on going, and mind becomes a terrible thing to waste. You got to say stuff while it's on your mind or have it written down. If not, you just completely forget about it. Want to inform some, remind others. The SEC announcing yesterday that there will be even more casualties of our pandemic that we're facing from COVID-19. They are postponing the start of volleyball, cross country, and soccer competitions until Monday, August 31st. The delay in competition includes all exhibition and non-conference games. SEC institutions, including LSU, will continue to follow the guidelines of the conference's Return to Activity and Medical Advisory Task Force, as well as the NCAA's resocialization of college sports guidelines, as student athletes are engaged in preseason preparation for a return to competition. One of the hilarious things that has come out of all of this pandemic are the phrases, the words, and the names of things that we've come up with. I mean, by now, everybody, social masking, social distancing, and masking up. It's become a part of the American lexicon now. It's a part of who we are. And I was chuckling as I was reading this to you, the NCAA's resocialization of college sports guidelines. Isn't that just the same as y'all coming back to school? I mean, I'm just saying, just saying. But rest assured, we are in no way, shape, or form anywhere near the last of the acronyms that we're going to have, the last of the new terms added to the long list of things that we are going to have to get used to. It is just a part of the reality that we all live in. And speaking of athletics this week, in case you missed it, the Louisiana High School Athletic Association, speaking of acronyms, the LHSAA, announcing that the LHSAA, will not allow high school football games to be played until the state of Louisiana exits the third phase of its K-12 reopening plan. Eddie Bonine, executive director, and maybe we'll see if we can get him on the next show, speaking to the Louisiana legislature on Monday of this week, said that it's unclear how long it is going to take the state of Louisiana to get to phase 4. There is no fourth phase of the White House's recommendations for reopening the U.S. economy. The LHSAA has, after taking all of this information in, they have formulated a little different plan. And for them to give the blessing to resume high school football, we have to exit phase 3 of their 4-phase program. So, if for no other reason, all the folks that are still upset with Governor John Bel Edwards for the statewide mask mandate, for all the folks that are upset with the mayors or whatever form of government your locale may exist under, whether it's police, jury, council, what have you, those that have mandated mask wearing where you live, maybe this will make it just a little more palatable for you, make it just a little easier to swallow. We all love our high school football. We all love our college football. We all love football in some form or fashion at some level. Of course, the NFL made it a point to alienate a lot of their fans with all the social upheaval and everything else going on. That's a different topic for a different day. But at the end of the day, Louisiana loves its football, pure and simple. And whether you are Republican, Democrat, Independent, Green Party, whatever, if you're a Louisianian, I think we can all agree at least on that much. We love our football in some form or fashion. And the only way we're going to be able to get it is we have to govern ourselves accordingly. I don't know how many times I have to say it before those of you that don't get it will start to get it. But when you fail to govern yourself, you consent to be governed. Now listen, I get it. I understand. A lot of y'all slept through history class. A lot of y'all slept through civics class. And as a result, some of y'all need to be governed. Some of y'all don't understand, however old you are and however many years you have been blessed by God to live in this country, some of y'all still don't understand this country was founded on individuals and individual liberty and freedom. But there is a price that comes along with freedom and liberty. You have the obligation to govern yourself. Some of y'all ain't gonna get that till later, but that's okay. When you fail to govern yourself, well, that's when the folks that want to govern you, that's when they enter the picture, and then the governance begins. I don't know about y'all, because I can't speak for anybody but my little old lonesome. I would much rather govern myself than to have to be governed by someone else. Because if nothing else I've said today sticks with you, you can take this one to the bank. Freedoms and liberties encroached upon by government are seldom, if ever, returned intact. That one, my friends, you can take to the bank. But like I said, some of y'all not going to get this till later. Some of y'all won't get it at all, and that's okay. Doesn't make you a bad person, makes you an American. I'm only hoping, though, that we can bring ourselves to do the right thing the right way. My time's up, and I gotta go. Don't forget, The Exiles, same bat time, same bat channel, right here tomorrow on the Pelican. And yes, you're right. America, we're not perfect, but doggone it, for my money, it's the best there is. And God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you do realize he loves you, right? And I hope you know that I do too. Either way, ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. See you next week. God bless.